Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Nahmaduhu wa nusalli ala rasulihil kareem. Inshallah, we'll be studying this book, 4 Steps to Understanding Nahw. So what this book is basically a very, very simple introduction to how the language works. So, as a disclaimer, or just keep in mind that everything you're studying here, or probably nothing you're studying here is final. It's basically when you think of it, like when you're building a building, you have all these like props to keep things up. You have the roof, you want to keep a prop. So just think of it like that. These are all temporary things in place. You understand how the language works. Because what happens sometimes when you have like a lot of information at one time, you get really confused. So I'm trying to make it as easy as possible, give you a rough skeleton of how sentences are made, how the language works, so that when you get into detail, you have to understand where you are in a sentence, where you are in the language, what part of the language you're studying. Then you go straight away. You get a bit confused. The spiral method. So you do a bit of everything, you understand what's going on, and then you go deep into everything else. Okay? Right. So, what's that word? That one?
No.
Is creator, prophet, the, honest, whatever, different pronunciation, different qira'at. So, this is what are all of these? Okay, they're nouns, correct? My words. So these are all what? So let's say for example, this book, inshallah, one day you can study this book and many other books. What's it made up of? Pages, yeah, but what else? Words. That's all it is. Words, nothing more. But that's what the whole library we have here is all made up of words. The thing is now, understanding these words and putting these words together in a productive, constructive manner is what Arabic, any language is about. Because every language is made up of simple words. Now, let's say for example here, we took these words. Allah is creator my. We took these words and we put it together in a order. What do we get now?
Allah is my creator.
Allah is my creator. What is that called?
A sentence.
A sentence. We do the same thing here. We have Muhammad is Prophet A. So you have words, put them together. What do you get? Muhammad is a Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and it makes into a sentence. So words then make into a sentence. Next one we have man is and the honest. We put those together in a constructive or productive way or a proper grammatical way. What do we get? Another sentence called
The man is honest.
The man is honest. These are sentences. What is this? So sentences. And that's what we're working with. Words, understanding words, how words work, and then put those together to make what? Sentences. That's what we're going to be doing. That's what it is. That's what it is. Those are words, but they're all in order, obviously. And in a very good order, which makes sense. So you have to understand how these words work, how they're made, how they're constructed. So, first thing we have is a word. What's the word called? Kalimatun. When you stop, say kalima. And more than one word is called kalimat. That's it. Kalima, and the plural is kalimat. So all Arabic word, any Arabic word you come across is going to be called a kalima. Got it? Kalima. Now, the kalima is then divided into different parts and portions. Now, the first one is ism, and the plural is asma. So the first type of word we're going to be studying is called ism, and the plural of that is asma. And the easy translation of that you can call it, for example, it can be a person, like Ahmed, a place, Leicester Sharif. A thing, for example, funny Leicester Sharif. Thing is a pen or an idea. It doesn't have something solid. Patience, anger, hatred, love. Those are also ism. And in English you can call this a noun, pronoun, adjective, adverb. All of these come under ism. So if you're aware of the English language and you want to get into detail, you can understand it from here. If you're not too good with English, just remember ism is one of these things.
Right.
Okay? This is what you call an ism. Okay? You got it? The next thing we have is fa'lun. So you have fa'lun. And the plural of that is af'al. Many verbs are called af'al. So one fa'al, many af'al. Now we're not going to discuss this in this subject because we're doing a separate subject called al-musarf, al-mutasrif with Maulana in the first period. So we're not going to discuss much of that. What we're going to do is he's going to teach you. I'm going to take from this. Well, you've learned this from that lesson. Put it in here. It's a whole separate subject altogether. It can be taught in Nahw as well, but just keep it separate. And it's an action. For example, to hit. So any verb, so and even in English, it's called verb, nothing else. A verb has its own particular. If you look at ism, many English parts of speech, those of you who are good with English language, many parts of speech come under this ism. But in Arabic, the fa'il is equal translation of verb, nothing else. And then at the end you have the third part of speech in Arabic. There's only 3 in Arabic. In English, how many are there? Anybody? 9? About 9, I think. So harfun jama' huruf. Harf, singular. More than one is huruf. What are these? Like joining word. Like from, to, with, in, alongside. All of these kind of words are called harf. And in English you can call it conjunction. And a few other parts of speech remain. I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There are about 3 remaining. I didn't mention them because we're not studying English. We're just studying the Arabic. Go ahead.
So a harf is just one word that joins the first part to the second part.
Yes, a harf joins word. It can join 2 verbs together.
Okay.
It comes with a verb. It comes with a noun. It joins a verb with a noun. And as you go deeper, you understand how it's used.
Right.
Okay. So summary of this is what? Kalima. Kalima is what? Word. Okay. And how many parts? And each word in all the words can be divided into one of these 3 categories. There's no 4th category in Arabic. What are these 3? Ism is a noun, and you have fa'il, and you have harf. Ism, fa'il, and harf. These are the 3 parts of speech you need to know for an Arabic word. Ism, fa'il, or harf. Got it? Got it? Ism. Ism is, now how do you know what an ism is? It's either going to be in, now we know what it is in English. And noun, pronoun, adjective, but obviously that's the English part. From an Arabic perspective, how would we know what an ism is? How do we know what an ism is? First of all, it's a name. So, for example, Muhammad is an ism, fa'il, or harf. Ism, why? It's a name. Musa? Ism, why is it ism? Allah? Fir'aun? Ism, because they're all names. Second tip is, has alif lam. At the beginning, al. For example, alhamdulillah. So alhamdu is what? Why is it ism? Has alif lam. Ar-rajul has what? Ism, why? Alif lam. Ar-rasul. Alif lam. Al-Quran. Alif lam. So all of these are going to be ism. And the third way, it might be a bit small, is tanween. 2 dhamma, 2 fatha, 2 kasra. Or the Hindu Pak said, those there are do-pesh. Double fatha, double dhamma, double kasra. So whatever you call it, doesn't really make a difference. This tanween, dhammatan, fathatan, kasratan, any of this is a sign of a noun. So for example, rijalun, fihi rijalun. So rijalun is what? Noun. Because of what? Tanween. Tilka rusul, rusul is going to be what? Tilka rusul. Alif lam. Okay. So all of these are alif lam. For example, Muhammad. What's Muhammad? Ism, fa'il, or harf? Ism, because it comes in column. No, because it's got what? Tanween. Ar-Rasul. Ism, fa'il, or harf? Why?
Alif lam.
Brilliant. And Rasulun. Ism, fa'il, or harf? Tanween. So it has to be. Go one step further. We have now the second type, fa'il. I get with this. I say, kad marra. It's past in the surf lesson. So you would do it in ilm al-sarf or ilm al-tasrif. Whatever you do it there, then.
So with the noun, it can have a dhamma or dhammatain. Can it have a kasra?
Yes, dhamma, dhammatain, kasra, kasratain, fatha, fathatain, any of them. Okay? Any form of tanween. And I'm not going to go into this because there's a separate lesson for this. And you will study that separate lesson. So when you study it there, we'll borrow stuff from there. We'll take it over here.
In the surf lessons.
That comes in the sarf lesson. So you either call it ilm al-sarf, the science of sarf, the science of tasrif, which means science of morphology, and that we learn. Okay? So like for example, fataha, you start with fataha, like fataha, fataha, fatahu. Yaftahu will also come the mudari. And I'm not going to get involved in this, but you know, when it comes, wherever you study in that book, that's a verb. It's a fa'il. Okay? And the third type is now what? Harf. Now how do you recognize this? Now, this is not exact 100% correct, but I said it'll prop you up for now. How do you think of it? A harf is anything with 2 letters. Just for now.
Okay.
That's a tip to get you by for quite a long time. For example, min. Sorry. Min. Ila. Fi. So all of these are very small little words, 2 letters usually. So anything like this you can think is harf. Okay? You got it? So, summary. What do you call a word in Arabic? Kalima. How many types of kalima are there?
3.
3. Which are?
Ism,
Ism,
fi'l,
fa'il,
and harf.
fa'il. How do you know what ism? What are the 3 types of ism? Name, alif lam or tanween. Very good. A fa'il? You studied the other book. Not really. That's not really the best way to go about it. But that's this for now. Because what happens, you understand it. When you see the patterns, anything of fatah, yaftahu pattern, then you know it's a verb. And as you study that science more, you automatically understand it. Okay? And a harf is something that's going to be what? 2-letter word. Okay. So before we go into, I want to analyze a few words from the first surah, first chapter of the Quran. But a quick summary. Ism. How do you know if it's ism? If it has what? So ism, fa'il or harf. Ism is recognized by alif lam, tanween, or a name. Fa'il is either fa'ala pattern or the yaf'alu pattern. And harf is going to be a 2-letter word. Keeping this here in mind, let's start here. We have the first word we have is alhamdu. So alhamdu, what is it? Ism, fa'il, or harf? Ism. Why is it ism? Alif lam. Sorry? Yeah. Good. Al-alameen. Ism, fa'il, or harf?
That would be ism. Because
Ism.
it's got alif lam.
It's got alif lam. So that's why same color is alham. Then we have ar-Rahman. Ism, fa'il, or harf?
Ism.
Why is it an ism?
Alif lam.
It's got an alif lam. Ar-Rahim. Ism, fa'il, or harf?
Ism alif lam.
Ism, alif lam. Okay. Next one.
Ism again, alif lam.
Yes, ad-Din. Ism, alif lam. Next one. It's a bit too easy now, isn't it? As-Sirat.
Ism.
Ism, alif lam. Okay. Al-Mustaqim.
Ism.
Ism. Now you're praying salah, you're going to be thinking, this ism, why is it a fail? You get all mixed up in your alhamdulillah, you're thinking what? Ism, fail, harf. Okay? Right. Now this is a bit, let's try a bit more. Min. Ism, fail, harf.
Harf.
Why?
2-letter
2-letter
word.
word. Okay? Next one. Ghasiqin. Ism, fail, harf.
It's a ism.
Ism, why?
It's got the tanween at the end.
Okay, well then. Next one.
Ism.
Alif lam. So you'll do this in more bit detail and more grammar, but this, even though the alif lam is not pronounced, you say, how do you pronounce it? It means sharrin fatha, sharrin. The lam is not pronounced. But even though it's not pronounced, once it's written, you will still say it has what? Alif lam on it. So it's still be an ism. So remember that, even though the alif lam is not pronounced, we'll do that rule in more detail, we'll do a more detailed grammar book. But even if it's not pronounced, it's still there, you must count it as what?
Ism.
Next example we have here. Fi. Ism, fa'il, or harf?
Harf.
Harf, why?
2-letter word.
Oh, good. Then, Uqad.
Ism.
Ism, why?
Al.
Al. Good. What?
Harf.
Harf, why?
1 letter.
We know it's 1 letter. But you get the point, yeah. It's one of those really small particles, okay? Min.
Harf.
Harf,
2-letter.
why?
2-letter word.
Okay.
Hasidin. It's a ism because it's got the tanween at the end.
And Ida.
Harf.
Harf. And
Fi'l.
he got it. I thought I was going to get you. Well done, mashallah. Hasada, what does it come on? Fa'ala, fataha. Okay? So that's a verb. Okay? I try really hard, but you, mashallah, well done. Okay? So that's the summary. So you have ism, you have kalima, and under kalima, what do you have? Ism, fa'il, harf. Fa'il, you learn from the patterns. Harf is 2-letter words, and ism is either recognized because it's a noun or it's a. It's either alif. Sorry, ism is recognized because it's alif lam, tanween, or it has a name. Okay? Yeah? Okay?
Yeah.
So you have to say? Okay.
Right. So when you say a name, you mean it is a name, like we recognize it as a name?
Yes, like Muhammad, Isa, Musa, Yahya, Ilyas, Ibrahim, Ismail. Some more, Sulaiman, Yaqub.
What about cities and
Yeah,
places?
it's a name as well.
They count as names.
Yeah. Rum, Al-Madinah, Makkah.
What about you said ideas?
Yeah.
Like, for example, I have a concept for a business. These can be a name as well?
Well, the for example, that's a bit detailed. For example, you have idea. For example, a concept. Idea means a concept. Something that's not, you can't touch. For example, like a sabr, patience, logic,
Okay, that kind of.
immorality, piety, honesty, truthfulness. So somebody might think, okay, it's something you can touch, a thing. So you can touch a heater, you can touch a board, you can touch a screen, you can touch a computer, a book. What about things you can't touch? Well, they're also nouns. So it doesn't have to have a physical form to be a noun. Even it's anything which is not an action or two-letter word, like a joining particle, is a noun.
For example, illa or illa, would you count as 3 letters or 2 with the hamza?
Doesn't really matter. The point is that it does the joining part.
Okay.
That two-letter rule is a basic rule to get you by to prop you up.
But the hamza is considered a letter.
Yes.
Is it considered a letter?
Ila. Okay. Any other questions?
That's everything from me.
So you want to recap? What are the 3 things Arabic words are called?
The kalimas.
Kalima. How many types are they?
3.
Which 3?
Ism.
Isam,
Fi'l.
harf, and the sign of isam is
Al.
al,
Tanween.
tanween,
Me.
name, fa'il,
Is a fa'ala.
fa'ala or
Yaf'al.
yaf'alu, and a harf.
2 letters.
Okay, that's enough for today. So tomorrow we continue.